So I think Stefan wants to introduce Michelle for the next session.
I was literally trying to surprise her. Michelle's a really close friend of mine, and I wanted to actually have the opportunity to present her. Michelle is a distinguished actress by trade. She has been trained formally. She does a lot of YouTube stuff and a lot of awesome things. So I have never personally seen her act, but I've heard it's really good. So I'm here for her session today in hopes to win her forgiveness because she's like my older sister. And obviously, not being able to see her perform really does hurt me, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to introduce Michelle, and especially after Dorothy's amazing workshop. I feel like what Michelle has is going to go hand in hand with what Dorothy just did. So without further ado and me talking too much, Miss Michelle Quintero Walker.
Hi, everyone. How are you? At this moment, what I'm going to ask you to do is if you do have your video off, I totally understand if you want to stay muted. I respect that. You are in a safe space. But if you can take your video and put it on, it's an interactive workshop. I want to see you. I want to see how you're impacted by this. So all I ask, wherever you are, I'm not going to judge. Please put your video on. If everyone can hear me, all I need is for you to give me a thumbs up so I can move forward. Okay, great. So in acting, we have something called a warm-up. I'm sure you guys have been sitting down for a while, so we're gonna get up for a minute, and literally a minute. My husband's gonna help me in the background. Can you set a timer for 1 minute? I'll tell you when to start. We're gonna set a timer. We're gonna get up and we're gonna do a warm-up. We're just gonna check in with our bodies so we can wake up. So wherever you are, if you're in a sitting position, I need you to stand up right now. Just give me a minute. I gotta play something in the background here. Can you all hear that? Just a thumbs up works. All right, just mirror me, follow what I do. Do your legs too, all the way down. How many seconds? Good job, guys. We can sit down now. How do you feel? If you feel good, put your thumbs up. Are you awake? Good, because I need you awake. I need you here. I need you present. So now that we woke up our bodies a little bit, we're going to check in. We're going to do 10 deep breaths together. So we're going to start off with the first one. When you inhale, I need you to hold it 5 seconds. Well, we won't do 10, we'll do 5. Inhale, hold it for 5 seconds. Exhale, 5 seconds. Okay? Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Was that 5? Did I count right? Okay. So I'm gonna try something here. I need you guys to tell me if you can see me. You can unmute. Just let me know if you can see me right now.
I can
Yeah, I
see
can
you.
see you.
Okay, great.
See,
So the name of the workshop today is Facing Yourself, the Thin Line Between Acting and Life. So good morning, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Michelle Quintero. I am an actress. I am from the Bronx, born and raised. First and foremost, thank you all for taking the time to be here. It truly is humbling for me that Jason asked me to do this workshop. It was a challenge, but a very big part of who I am and where I operate from is a place of love. In my opinion, love is a superpower. Some think love as romantic or platonic, and love gets thrown around a lot. But I think if we truly are willing to give just a little bit of love in life, in family, or any leadership position that we desire, mine was acting, we'll be surprised of the results. In a scene, I have to love my character. I have to love my scene partner, the director, the cast, and the crew. That allows me not only to be professional, regardless of how I feel about an individual, because the different individuals, the different personas, every person is a puzzle piece that makes the complete work come to life. The costume department, the lighting department, the ticket sales, everybody who has their hands on a show. Everybody is important. The same way in the Leadership Academy, there may be different layers, but every single individual is important. You may ask, how does this relate to today? What does this have anything to do with facing yourself, the thin line between acting and life? Well, hopefully by the end of this workshop, you'll have an answer to that for yourself. So I want you to grab a pen and paper. Do you have it? Let me know when you have it. You can unmute yourself. Grab a pen and paper.
I got it.
When everybody's ready, just give me a thumbs up. I'll give you like 30 more seconds or 20, because sometimes I move faster than I need to.
got it. Hey, Michelle, I got it.
Okay. So this is the question that I want you to write on that piece of paper. I want you to ask yourself, what is my why? What is my why? At the end of the workshop, if you so choose, I would like you to share what you have, because I really want us to inspire each other today. So I'm fair. I'm a fair individual. Jason knows me. I'm honest. So I think it only fair that I share with you just a little bit of my story. So as an artist, I understand the importance and the necessity of stories. Sometimes we may not realize storytelling in our own personal lives, just sharing our experiences, not just our triumphs, but sometimes our failures, not just our accomplishments, but sometimes our downfalls. We need all of those stories because they paint the picture of who we are. So I graduated from Hostos in 2011. That's where I was a member of the Hostos Student Leadership Academy. And I also studied acting with Professor Morales. Some of you guys may know him. I was nominated for the Irene Ryan Acting Award. And that's also where I met my husband, Jamal. I transferred to Purchase College upon graduation, where I studied theater and performance and graduated on the dean's list. I started my off-Broadway career 2 weeks after graduation. So I was born 2 pounds, 3 ounces. Doctors told my family that I would never be normal. My parents, well, my mother didn't make good life choices. So I saw her die twice. Once physically, with all the damage done to her body, and then again when I watched her casket go into the ground. My birth father, I don't know much about him. I was told by the person who raised me, I should have minded my business. I should have let you go into foster care. I was told by my birth mother that my personal life was none of her business. I felt for a very good portion of my life that my voice, my presence in the world had no worth. And I truly believe that the blessing of storytelling, acting, and the arts saved my life. So because I asked what your why is, this is my why. My why is because it's necessary. Because I need to give a voice to the voiceless. I need to let someone know that they have value. I need to let someone know that they're important. I need to let someone know that their place and their existence in the world is valid. No matter of your socioeconomic standing, no matter of how much money you make, no matter what kind of clothes you wear. And God gave me the platform of a stage to do that. So that's my why. So now I challenge you to ask yourself, what's my story? Now, we're gonna make a connection, but first, I was given some homework to bring a piece to read or perform. So I'm gonna do for you guys what's called a code reading. It's one of my favorite pieces. Some of you may have heard it, and it's called Somebody Almost Walked Off with All of My Stuff, and it's by Ntozake Shanke. So I'm just gonna do a code reading for you guys, and we'll go from there. I'm gonna stand up for this because I'm kind of feeling it right now. Somebody almost walked off with all of my stuff. Not my poems or dance I gave up in the street, but somebody almost walked off with all of my stuff, like a kleptomaniac, working hard and forgetting while stealing. This is mine. This ain't your stuff. Now, why don't you put me back and let me hang out with my own self? Somebody almost walked off with all of my stuff and didn't care enough to send a note home saying I was too late for my solo conversation, or 2 sizes too small for my own tacky shirts. What can anybody do with something of no value on an open market? Did you get a dime for my things? Hey man, where you going with all of my stuff? This is a woman's trip and I need my stuff. And so, ooh and ah about. Did you get a dime for my things? Daddy, I got a mainline number for my own stuff. Now why don't you put me back and let me play this duet with this silver ring in my nose? Honest to God, somebody almost walked up with all of my stuff and didn't bring anything but the kick and sway of it, the perfect ass for my man, and none of it was theirs. This is mine. Her own things, that's my name. Now give me my stuff. I see you hiding my lap, how I sit with my legs sometimes to give my crotch some sunlight, and there goes my love, my toes, chewed out fingernails, nigga, with the curls in your hair. Mr. Louisiana Hot Link, I want my stuff back. my rhythms and my voice. Open my mouth. Let me talk you out of throwing my stuff in the sewer. This is some delicate leg and whimsical kiss I had to give to my choice without you running off with all of my shit. Now you can't have me unless I give me away. And I was doing all that till you run off with a good thing. Who is this you left me with? Some simple girl with a bad attitude? I want my things. I want my arm with the birthmark, my leg with the bite burns. I want my callous feet and quick language back in my mouth. Fried plantains, pineapple juice, sunrise, and Joseph and Jules. I want my things, how I lived them. And give me my memories, how I was when I was there. If you can't have them or do nothing with them, stealing my stuff from me, don't make it yours and make it stolen. That's all I'm gonna do for y'all today. I promised Jason I would read. So, again,
Michelle, how you gonna leave us like that? How you gonna leave us like that? Just give us a little bit, and then you say, "Oh, that's all I'm giving you." That's all.
I needed that in my life right now. I needed that. I needed that right now.
It's the importance of storytelling, because we all have a story, all of us. And are you just gonna let somebody come in and take it and market off it and profit from it? No, that's mine. So that's why I decided to share that with y'all. So moving on.
Michelle, it's German. How are you?
Hi, German.
It's a very good story. Very poetic story, and something that I needed to hear. All right.
Thank you. And everyone is welcome to comment. I will let you know when that time comes. Thank you for chiming in.
Well, we wrote in the chat.
I see it. It's lighting up my screen. So earlier we talked about character. And I was saying how we all have a story. So now we're going to make a connection. In acting, we have something called character development. What is character development? So let's break it apart. In acting, we call this breaking down the text, really getting in between it to figure it out so that we can tell the story. So in this case, the text is the term character development. Everybody, you don't have to unmute, just say it to yourself. Say character development. The literal definition of character development is the process of creating a believable character in fiction by giving the character depth and personality. What is character? A character, of course, can be a person in a play, a novel, or a movie. Character is also the mental and oral values distinctive to an individual. Now, this brings us to the next part of the term, development. In the Leadership Academy, you're given certain skills to develop. You may have a workshop. You may have hours that you have to do for community service. All of this leads to your development as a character. Now, it may not be on stage, but in life, our character, the skills that we take out into the world, our character speaks volumes about who we are. So this makes it real. We're all familiar with Shakespeare's quote, "All the world's a stage, all the men and women merely players." They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. So you may play the part of a son, a daughter, a mother, a leader, a organizational member. All of these things are parts you play. Now, in real life, in your stage of life, wherever you are in this moment, in your education, in your life, If someone wrote a play, a book, a movie about you, what would they say? How would they remember you? What is the legacy you're leaving? In acting, you're only as good as your last performance. So what have you done recently that's good? For your education, for your family, for your career, and most important, what have you done for you? What good will you leave behind? If your academic career, mission, or goal in life was a performance, how well have you done? I'll let you think on that. So, in character development on stage, every role we get, these are 10 questions that every actor has to ask themselves when they receive a role. And these questions are vital to developing the character. I'm sure that when you hear them, you'll make your own connections to how the same questions can relate to your life. And we'll be working only with about 5 of the 10 questions, but I'll read them all to you. And this is gonna be the portion where I call on some people to volunteer. In acting, we call it a safe space. Please know that virtually anything you say here, I respect it. Anything you share here, I protect it, because I may not know you personally, but if I know you through the Leadership Academy, you're an extended part of my family. So I have to take care of you. So the questions are, who am I? Where am I? When is it? Where have I just come from? What do I want? Why do I want it now? Why do I want it at all? What will happen if I don't get it now? And how will I get what I want? By doing what? And what must I overcome? Now it's time to do some work. So I'm gonna call on some of you. I'm a little bit different. I know that in some of the other workshops, they give you the choice of whether or not you wanna volunteer. I'm gonna give you the option of volunteering, but if nobody speaks up, especially because I just established this is a safe space, I'm gonna call on you. Because after this, I really need you to take away how what you learned today, I need you to carry it out into the world. I need you to be a light. So, Jason, I trust you. I know that you know the ones who like to talk and the ones who don't so much like to talk. So if you want to chime in and volunteer anyone, I am open, and we'll start with the first question. Don't be afraid. I'm not gonna bite you unless you want me.
Sorry, can you just repeat the questions? It was just really fast.
I can read the questions again, and you know what? As I'm repeating them, I'll type them in the chat.
Okay.
So I'll repeat them one more time. Who am I? Where am I? When is it? Where have I just come from? What do I want? Why do I want it? Why do I want it now? What will happen if I don't get it now? How will I get what I want? By doing what? And what must I overcome? So I'm just gonna copy and paste this.
Michelle, I think somebody already did it for you.
Yeah, Thalia wrote it for you.
You see, that's teamwork right there.
I didn't get the last one though because I was too bit. The sentences got longer. That's as fast as I could type.
Yep, I'm working on it right now.
You did good, Thalia, though. That was pretty good.
All right, so there you go. Those are all the questions. Oh, let me do it again because that just went to Zyra. Just give me 1 second.
I'm sorry, Michelle. Repeat the third question. I'm sorry.
If you check your chat, German, they're in the chat now. Just open your chat and check it. All of the questions are there. All right, so who's gonna be our first volunteer? If I don't get some answers, I'll call you out. I'm not scared.
I'm here. I'm here for it, sis.
All right, so Stefan,
Yes, ma'am.
in a scene, when we ask the question, where have we just come from? It's very vital. And the reason why it's vital is because wherever we come from, the circumstance we were coming from onto the now moment, and the now moment is when we're on stage coming into that scene, it tells us how we feel. It tells us why the now is important. So if this was a play, your life was a play, where did you just come from? And why is that important?
Oh man, where did I just come from? I think I just really fought a war to get back into school, and not sort of where I just came from. School has always been a struggle for me because I valued other people and ahead of my education, and I really made some really bad decisions while I was at Hostos, and I went to John Jay, and I messed up there as well. So the journey back has been kind of longer than the journey to fail. So where I am now is sort of in a place where I'm actually fighting for it, and also trying to balance my emotions about family and work, and trying to find sort of a balance and not feel
I'm
so
gonna
lost.
stop you. I'm gonna stop you because you're right here. But when I ask, where have you just come from? If you had to give me if that place, if you had to name that place, if you had to identify it, what place is that? Where did you come from?
If I had to name the place, I'd say Confusion Boulevard. that makes the most logical sense to name it that, and I think that's why I made some of the choices that I made, because I was very confused, and I listened to others a lot instead of listening to my own inner voice. So I'd say
So you came from a place of confusion, of disorientation.
Definitely.
Okay. So why is that important to your now place, where you are right now? Why is that important?
I think it's important to my now place because I'm learning how to listen to myself and how to kind of assess the situation without intervention from anybody else. And I think that's very powerful. I think that there comes a time in everybody's life where you have to be able to assess things for yourself and start opening doors for yourself instead of closing them. So I don't want to point off blame to anybody else. I want to be aware that I'm taking responsibility for things that I've done in my past. So I feel like I'm in that place now.
So I'm gonna give you something to write down, and this is for everyone, not just Stefan. Write down in all caps, urgency. Now, in a scene, no matter what the scene is, sometimes different directors play with it. Urgency. This brings me to the next question. What do you want? Now, Stefan, you've had a speaking platform, but I want to rotate and give other people a chance to respond. So the next question is, what do I want? Who wants to be the volunteer for that question?
Hi, Michelle.
And hey girl, how you doing?
What do I want? I kind of agree with Stefan. For the last almost 2 years, I was working in a supportive housing unit program in the Bronx, helping people with mental health and substance abuse get their lives together. And recently now I don't have a job based off a lot of different things of me knowing how to go in and lead without anybody. What do I want now is to use all the skills that I've learned over all the years and help other people do business. This is what I really realized. So I'm actually doing that now. Through case management, I learned that I can do different things, like actually really take the knowledge and skills to help people and grow communities. And I didn't realize how much of an impact I did in 2 years. Go somewhere and start a program and basically have the residents feel like they have a say-so. So using my voice to help others and creating more of a community impact.
Okay, so what do you want?
I want to start something that helps people in urban communities. Since I know how to use certain language now and being in a certain social services industry, I want to be able to help people start businesses, start non-for-profits, being able to help them have a mission of whatever dream that they want to have and basically sit down and say, this is what you want, I'm here to help. And you don't have to have a lot of money to start this at all.
What's your biggest one? Because you're telling me, which is beautiful, you're telling me your goals and your aspirations for what you want for your community, how to do that. But I want you, with all of that beauty, to dig a little bit deeper and ask yourself, what do I want? And
I want to be successful.
How does this feed that want? Because it comes from a root. If you think about it, this is you planting a seed. I want to start this business. I want to do this non-for-profit. This is why I want to do it. But what do you want? Because a lot of the times when we create goals for ourselves, it's easier for us to take care of someone else.
Absolutely.
Do we really ask what we want? Because if we don't know what we want, how can we feed someone else's dream? And this is not a criticism. This is me just being passionate. You know me.
Yeah, it's definitely not taken as a criticism. You know, definitely what I want is for me to be happy in what I'm doing and not being able to be persecuted for any of me being boisterous or me sharing knowledge that I've learned over time, over the last 10 years of my life. I want to be able to say I'm successful at doing what I do, what I love with passion.
You're right there. And I love it because I see it. I heard happiness. I heard successful. Dig a little bit deeper and don't be afraid, because there are going to be feelings that might come up in this workshop.
You know, I just don't want to fail at this point. I just don't want to fail. And whatever I'm doing, I just don't want to fail. And failure is a part of it. And that's the most scariest part about any of this. It's failing.
That's real. That's real.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more.
I want you to ask, and we're not going to, you guys are helping me as I help you. What must you overcome?
That fear, because everybody always told me that, Jaquana, you can't do it because you this. You can't do it because you're that. You can't do it because you're gay, because you're black, because you're boisterous. You need to tone down your little bit of your personality.
Oh.
My last job, that's all I got. You're black. You're gay. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't change people with mental illness. You can't do this. You can't do that. And that kind of lowers my confidence a little bit.
So this is what I'm going to give you for that, Jaquana. And I thank you for being brave enough to share your fears, because that's not easy. We walk around with fears on us like a weight, and it's heavy, and it has us feel things and experience things, and that weight can make us sick. Now, I'm going to make a connection. When we do these questions as an actor and we understand our character, no other actor can come to me and say, play it this way. Maybe you should talk with this octave. Maybe you should sing the song from here. Oh, why don't you breathe from your neck instead of your abdomen? Why don't you look up instead of down? There's going to be a million people who have a million opinions about how I play a character. It's not about anyone's opinion about how the character is played. It's about how it's written. Now, the beauty of this is that in your life, you're the writer. You are the director. You are the stage manager. So when you go out into the world to that stage, that fear, those lies that have been told to you are not true. So anything that you have to overcome is literally you taking that imaginary pen and putting it on that script and saying, no, but this is who I am. This is my character. This is Jaquana. This is what I want. So all of those obstacles slowly but surely become smaller. And before you know it, you're playing your character the way that you should, not the way someone else wrote you. You are the writer. So I'm going to let you sit with that. and have you think on that. And I'm going to move to the next question.
Alrighty.
I'm waiting for another volunteer. And I want you to answer the question, why do I want it?
Can I
So-
go next?
Now. Hi,
I'll go next.
what's your name?
Golvis.
Gomez?
Golvis.
Hi, nice to meet you. You look so
Nice to meet you too.
glasses on and everything. How are you today?
I'm doing good. You know, just waiting
Okay,
and learning.
I get that. I feel that. So,
Why do I want it?
why do you want it? And what is the it? If you can identify the it for me, that would be really helpful. Because
Right.
to a scene, and I used this example with my husband earlier. I'm grown, so we all grown on this call, so I don't mind being open. I was like, if I want to come and make love to my husband, what do I want? What, right? Why do I want that? So I want it, and you know what it is. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? I may have to put on some perfume. I may have to walk a certain way. I may have to move a certain way because I want that right there. I want my man, right? So that's just an example.
All right.
So what
The it is, I want a better version of myself every day. I want to be a better leader, a better follower, a better person, and a better, I would say, friend. And why do I want that? I think it is partially because I haven't been, like, I would say in the last 3 years I haven't been afraid of failing. I've not been afraid of failing, and that has led me to learn more about myself. And every time I fail, I was like, all right, see that this is why I fail, and I just keep going. And being a better version of myself doesn't just affect me, but affects everyone that surrounds me. You know,
So
just
what makes you not a better person now? Why do you feel as if you're
well,
not?
I would say as a human being, there are certain things that we cannot control. You know, at first, but then we learn from our mistakes.
Can you give me an example?
Okay, I
So
think
this, what I'm giving you right now, this is your backstory, because our backstories in acting, wherever the character came from, whatever that story is, tells of why you feel what you feel right now and why it's important and valid to the scene, right? So I'm hearing fear, I'm hearing better, I'm hearing all of those things. If you had to look yourself, and this is why I entitled the workshop what it was, face yourself. When you face yourself, you can pretty much face any obstacle. For me, it's any character because I have to love all people. I have to accept all people. I have to not judge. I have to be open-minded in order for me to play a role. But that may involve me facing myself. I may be uncomfortable. I may not understand. So Govis, I need you to speak to that fear and I need you to help me understand what's not good about you, what's not better about you. And if you had to really ask yourself that question, is that your character? Is that who you are?
I think something that I've been fighting myself for a long time is that sometimes I'm too blunt, and I wouldn't say that I do not care about the other person's feelings, but I'm just straight up. I do not try to like make you feel
German, can you
better.
do me a favor? I'm sorry, Govis. German, I need you to keep your phone still and I need you to mute. Okay, go ahead, Govis.
Like sometimes I'm too blunt, and I like may say certain things that may hurt certain people. You know, I try not to. I would say,
Are you telling me that you want to be more compassionate? If you had to,
yeah. I think that's one of the main issues that sometimes when I'm compassionate enough, like I just tell as is, very blunt. something I've been fighting. And people who know me, who are truly my friends, they actually appreciate that part of me. But people who do not know me think that I'm an asshole straight up.
Okay, so
Like anybody
along
who
with
doesn't really know me would truly say
reading the
that
room, understanding different personas. So your it is a lot of things. You have a lot of it's.
yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being honest. I appreciate honesty. When I play a role honestly, the audience appreciates it. My castmates appreciate it. I have a friend on this call who I've actually done plays with. And she knows, her name is Illy. She knows that you need your partner. You need to be honest with each other in order for the scene to be successful, because then the audience is gonna know it's BS. So that part, keep that part of honesty. But with it, drop a little bit of compassion, drop a little bit of understanding, because not everybody understands what's going on in your head and they can't read your mind. So back to the question, why do you want it? How is this going to benefit you in the future by changing those aspects of your personality?
I think it will make me a better leader and a better person, just to sometimes listen, you know?
Okay, so you have some homework. I want you to go home and identify your it's and why you want them, and be honest with yourself. Don't confuse honesty with someone else's opinion. I'll say that again. Don't confuse honesty with someone else's opinion. Those things are not the same. So you can sit with that, and we're gonna move to the next question. The next question is, what will happen if I don't get it now? So who's my next brave volunteer?
Go ahead, Michelle. I'm ready.
Okay, German. How are you?
It's been a struggle for me, Michelle. Ever since I graduated from Hostos in 2016, I've applied for several jobs at different places, going to job interviews. I've also had to deal with the same issues as you have with my mother and the rest of my family. I too was raised without a father figure, without my biological father figure. I needed the guidance. I needed the support. Plus, I also needed courage and discipline, so that if a father would teach his son how to live life, whether if it's the easy way or the hard way.
Well, German, I know you pretty well, and I know you to be a man of God, and we're not going to turn this into a sermon.
Okay.
But your heavenly Father is your Father, correct?
Glory to the Lord.
So you can say that without any shadow of a doubt, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So you can't say, and I'm just passionate. So again, forgive me if I come across as being forceful. This is not forceful. This is coming from a place of love, okay? Because that's my superpower. He
Sure.
gives you everything you need to be a man in the Bible. And I'm gonna stop there because you already know where I'm going with this. And that's a whole nother conversation, right?
Great.
What is your it, and what will happen if you don't get it now?
What is my it? What is my it? And what if I don't get it now?
How will that impact your life? How will that impact your future? How will that impact your family? What will happen if you don't get it now? And be honest with me, German, because this is a lot of stuff to think on. You guys weren't prepared. You didn't have these questions. So if you feel like this is something you need to think about, I respect your space and I respect your time. One more time. What is your it, And what will happen if you don't get it?
My it is my inner self, my self-esteem, to take more action
So
and to over
confidence.
with confidence, and strength.
Okay, so what's gonna happen if you don't have confidence? You tell me. Because remember, you're the writer of the story. I don't know
Okay.
your story. All I can do is pick it up and read it. But what's gonna happen if you don't get that confidence?
Good question. If I don't get that confidence back, if I don't get that strength back or that courage back, then things are going to go way out of hand.
How?
Well, as you can see, Michelle, I'm at home right now, taking care of my mother's mental health condition. She's going to be 70. And I got to tell you, Michelle, ever since my mother got diagnosed with her mental health condition, it just affected me a lot. That I started to feel down. I started to feel down and not continue to push my body more and to overcome my limitations.
So I'm gonna give you something that I gave someone else on this call, and I won't shout him out, but he knows who he is. We need to identify what is ours and what is not. Backstage, there's something called a prop table. On that prop table, your name is labeled. It may be something simple like my placeholder, that belongs to my character. This pencil, that belongs to my character. But if it's someone else's name, are you gonna pick that up? No. Are you gonna take accountability for that? No. So I admire you for wanting to care for your mother, for doing that, and you're blessed for doing so, because not a lot of people would. However, you having that self-worth, you having that confidence is not only going to allow you to do that, but it's going to allow you to flourish in other places in your life, in work. And I'm not a business person, but if you walk into my office and you're not confident you can do the job, I can't trust you. I can't put my business at risk. So you got to know, if you're caring for your mom, let that be your why, or one of them. That confidence and that self-worth is going to be what allows you to protect her, to care for her, to cherish her, to value her. And not just that, you have to do the work. As an actor, I have to work from the inside out. I have to face myself every time. And mental illness is very serious. I want you to know that those are tools, that confidence and self-worth. When you hone in on those things, not only will you be a better caregiver for your family, but you're going to be more successful as you move forward in any leadership position you choose. But again, you hold the pen. You write the script. You're the author of the story. Know the difference between what is yours and what is not yours. So I'm going to leave you with that. You already know that you can email me, contact me. I got you, bro. I'm here for you. But for the sake of time, we're going to move on to the next question. So the next question is, what must I overcome? Now, this is deep. So before I ask anybody to jump in on this, I'm going to share my overcome. I had to overcome low self-esteem. I had to overcome thoughts of suicide. I had to overcome domestic violence relationships. I had to overcome loss of faith. I had to overcome losing my aunt, my mother, my great aunt, one of my best friends, if not by death, then by something else, So I had to overcome grief. The beautiful part about being an artist is that we have the gift of turning that, and Jason, forgive me because you know I'm from the Bronx, so it comes out a little bit sometimes. We have the ability to take all that shit and turn it into something beautiful. Think about it. When you plant a seed, what do you plant it in? Manure. What is manure? Shit. So if you can use whatever you need and plant those seeds, you have the ability to grow anything. And acting is character development or backstory or whatever you want to call it. We can create the character. We can make it our own. So what can you make beautiful? What do you have to give? And why? And if this was a show and someone walked away, how are they going to feel? Are they going to look back at this life story 2 years from now and be like, oh my God, this person went through this and they still overcame this. And it's like, I started off with my monologue. Don't let nobody walk off with your stuff. That's your stuff. You worked for that. You overcame that. So, what do I have to overcome? Who's gonna chime in on this question? Jason, if nobody chimes in, pick on them, because we gotta inspire each other today.
You can just pick somebody, Michelle.
Okay. I'm going to pick Tiana. Tiana, don't be scared. I know you not, and I love your hair wrap, girl. Yes.
Thank you.
So, what is your it, and what do you have to overcome?
Like my it that I want to go for, or my it that I have to overcome.
What is your it? What is your it is your want. So what do you want and what do you have to overcome to get it?
So my want is to be an important figure in public policy. And what I have to do to get it, sorry for the noise in my background. I need to develop myself. And when I mean like develop myself, I mean like develop my leadership capabilities, my communication skills, my understanding of other people's situations or backgrounds and things like that. I just want to be able to serve the public in the best way that I can. And I don't feel like I can serve anyone without checking me first.
Okay, so you're in a good place. But what do you, and we can go deeper with the why, because I love the fact that you told me I want to be important in public policy. This is what I want to do. That's all your why, right? So what do you have to overcome to do that? What's stopping you?
I am overcoming being, I guess, like, not afraid, but like pushing myself out of my comfort zone. I tend to get a little too comfortable sometimes, or like if I'm used to one thing, I'm like, this is what works for me and I'm gonna stick to that. So just being open to change and like new experiences.
Can you identify that? If you had to put a label on it, what do you have to overcome?
Myself.
What about yourself?
Like, I would say like self-confidence, like not doubt myself, but be like, I can do this. I am capable of getting things done. And even when I'm experiencing setback, not dwelling on that and finding ways to move forward.
Where does that voice come from? The voice that says everything you just said. Where does that voice come from? Is that your voice? Is that your character? Or is that something someone else tried to say? Where does that voice come from?
Honestly, like the voice comes from, I guess, the part of me that's like just doesn't want to, I guess, like Jaquana was saying, like, you don't want to fail. You want to succeed. You want to, reach that point in your life where I guess things are moving forward and they're not stagnant.
This is what I want for you, Tiana. I want you to get up in the morning. I want you to look in the mirror. And I want you to identify your truth. That involves literally facing yourself. And that's extremely hard to do because when you have to face yourself and there's a boundary of fear, that's hard. But I want you to know that if you can transform your why, your it, your purpose, if you can make it stronger than that fear, those voices get drowned out. Because then it becomes bigger than us. It becomes more important than us. When I get on stage, I have to tell the story. I have to, regardless of how I feel. And trust me, I still get nervous. I still put an enormous amount of pressure on myself because I want to know that when I get off that stage, that there's a conversation afterwards. And not the type of conversation that starts with, oh my God, did you see the way she played that? Oh my God, I didn't believe her. I don't want that. There's no room for that in my space. Make your why louder than your fear. Because when you do that, all those other questions that we talked about earlier are going to be so much easier to answer. And that takes work. The same way I have to do my character development and my character work is the same way we have to face ourselves. But ask yourself, when you get off this stage of life, you're laying in bed, it's your last breath. Fear had power over you. I'm from the Bronx, and I may not be the biggest gangster in the room, but I know that if you come in for something that's mine, no way. And anyone who's a friend of mine will tell you, I fight for my friends. I rally for my friends. I love on my friends. And not just because they're my friends. It's because I understand that whatever their whys are needs to be louder than everything else. So that's what I'm going to give you. Make your why louder than your fear. Meditate on that. So,
Thank you, Michelle.
5 minutes left. You're welcome, my love. We have about 5 minutes left in the workshop. And I can't believe an hour went that fast. I want to thank you guys for being brave, for being honest, for being present, for allowing yourself to speak those fears out into the air, for acknowledging them. You've already begun the process. This is you facing yourself. So on that account, I'm proud of you. I never in a million years thought that I would be in a place where I would be invited back to speak to people who I've never met in person. And I feel like that's God's will for my life, and I'm happy for that. This is a part of my why, and I'm sorry, Jason knows me. I get emotional, so I'm not gonna let myself get emotional today. But it's so important for you guys to know, the same way a character I play is important. The same way someone may see me playing this character and what this character said is able to make them speak up to a situation they have at home or whatever. You're so valuable. You're so important and you're so needed. Because if you think about it, in the world, globally, we are a part of an ensemble. And we have to support each other. The same way we would on stage, we have to support each other in life. Make your why louder than your fear. So there's 2 minutes left. If anyone wants to give feedback, you're welcome to. Jason, you're welcome to give feedback. I'll leave the floor open to you guys. Thank you so much for allowing me to do this. So I'll let you guys take it from here.
OMG, thank you so much. This was such a good workshop. I really like the energy that everybody brought.
I needed this. I needed this right now. Needed this at this point in my life.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank
Thank
you
you.
guys for participating. It's always,
Hey, boss.
hey, Jaquan. It's always nice to see somebody mastering their craft and then bringing it back to the rest of the group. So, Michelle, thank you for that. It's a good road that you're on. A lot of success. We wish you more success as you go around your acting career and move into the next phases and stages. But thanks for sharing with the group. I think I heard a lot of things in there that I definitely didn't hear when you were under the tutelage of Professor Morales. Not that he's not a great teacher, but that you can see that a lot of the things that you've learned being a professional have become part of your mantra and made the type of person that you are. Because what you're doing is you're using your craft to speak about life. And of course, that's what art is all about. It's about transitioning what it is that you've lived into your craft, but then giving it back to everybody else and telling people